Good morning, Carmelitas community. I am Echo, your good friend, and this is your Green News ecological program. Today, I have the pleasure of introducing you to two great guests. They are representatives of the Ecological Brigade, Julieta Miranda of 5th A and Adrián Serra of 5th B. They will share national and international news with us. Today's news is very interesting, so let's start with the first one at once. Julieta, tell us your news.
Thank you, Echo. Why is the North Atlantic breaking heat records? Sea surface temperatures have risen a lot in recent weeks in parts of the North Atlantic. Satellite data indicates surface waters in parts of the region are nearly 4 degrees Celsius warmer than the normal for this time of year. Scientists believe this year ocean temperatures could intensify storms and lead to hurricanes. What's causing the unusual warm-up isn't clear, but some scientists believe that it may be caused by the weakening of the winds that come from the Sahara and El Niño phenomenon, which increases surface temperatures around the world.
What interesting news! Let's watch the video.
90% of global warming is happening at sea. Ocean temperatures are on the rise, leaving our planet in hot water. Here's why. As Earth experiences a warming climate, we experience hotter air temperatures. Luckily for us, water has a high heat capacity, meaning the ocean absorbs extra heat from the atmosphere, which delays the full impact of global warming. But here's the bad news. That heat energy absorbed by the ocean doesn't disappear. It just moves from one place to another, eventually re-entering the rest of the Earth's system by melting ice shelves, evaporating water, or directly reheating the atmosphere. Increasing amounts of greenhouse gases are preventing heat radiated from Earth's surface from escaping into space as freely as it used to. Over the past few decades, upper ocean heat content has increased significantly. Since 1901, the average global sea surface temperature has increased about 1.8 degrees Fahrenheit, which may not sound like a lot, but every fraction of a degree matters. Water expands when it warms, so if you combine that with even more water from melting glaciers and ice sheets, you get rising sea levels, which threaten natural ecosystems, can cause flooding, and will affect billions of people who live in coastal communities around the world. Warming oceans also cause coral bleaching and marine heat waves. It wreaks havoc on weather patterns, intensifying hurricanes and cyclones, increasing heavy rain and snow events. In general, rising ocean temperatures endanger marine life and ultimately human livelihoods.
Adrián, do you have more news for us?
How whales impact on climate change. Despite past studies proving that whales have the capacity to carbon capture, which helps combat global warming, the amount of carbon they can capture just isn't enough, according to a new study published. When a whale dies, it will sink to the ocean floor, where it be covered in sediment. The sediment traps the carbon dioxide, preventing it re-entering the atmosphere.
Thank you, Adrián. Let's watch the video.
One of the most exciting scientific findings of the past half-century has been the discovery of widespread trophic cascades. A trophic cascade is an ecological process which starts at the top of the food chain and tumbles all the way down to the bottom. We all know that whales eat fish and krill, and some people, certain politicians in Japan for instance, have argued that killing whales is good for human beings, as it boosts the food available for us to eat. And so you would think. But as the great whales declined, so did the numbers of fish and krill. It seems counterintuitive. Surely their numbers would rise as their major predators disappeared. But it now turns out that whales not only eat these animals, they also keep them alive. In fact, they help to sustain the entire living system of the ocean. Whales feed at depth in waters that are often pitch dark, and then they return to the surface, to the photic zone, where there's enough light for photosynthesis to happen. There they release what biologists call fecal plumes, vast outpourings of poo, punamis. These plumes are rich in iron and nitrogen, nutrients which are often very scarce in the surface waters. And these nutrients fertilize the plant plankton that lives in the only place where plants can survive, the photic zone. Fertilizing the surface waters isn't the only thing the whales do. By plunging up and down through the water column, they also keep kicking the plankton back up into the photic zone, giving it more time to reproduce before it sinks into the abyss. Even today, though whale populations have been greatly reduced, the vertical mixing of water caused by movements of animals up and down through the column of the oceans is astonishingly roughly the same as the amount of mixing caused by all the world's wind and waves and tides. More plant plankton means more animal plankton, on which the larger creatures then feed. In other words, more whales means more fish and krill. But the story doesn't end here, because plant plankton not only feeds the animals of the sea, it also absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. When eventually it sinks to the ocean floor, it takes this carbon out of circulation down to a place where it remains for thousands of years. The more whales there are, the more plankton there is. The more plankton there is, the more carbon is drawn out of the air. When whales were at their historical populations, before great numbers of them were killed, it seems that they might have been responsible for removing tens of millions of tons of carbon from the atmosphere every year.
Thank you, guys. Today we know more about the whales and the impact of high temperature in the North Atlantic. This was great news, and remember, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Now, let's watch the trivia of today.